Alright, so the actual first big trade, aside from vendors that were here earlier, Meowth VMAX is going away to one of the vendor regulars. That man right there, he's been by the booth a few times. He's trading in the Paladin Whooper, Crystal, deck exclusive Articuno, and then some Yukamoris, and it was an equal trade for all. So I have a little bit of time to talk right now, but this is an official good morning post, or good morning video recording. So there's been a few things, the big trade that I did for a lot of like cheap end Yukamori stuff and then the Paladin Whooper. So it's been mostly a buying hour, so not really any major sales. There was like the Ins PP, that was, it's hard to like say that without like cracking up, but it was the full art from Perfect Order. That was like a $3 sale, and I'll go ahead and just go over the main stuff that I had just snagged up over the last hour. All right, so it took a little bit longer because after that recording, I had dealt with like 4 other people doing nothing but trades. But time to sort through all this. I'll go through the Pokemon stuff here in a second, but Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 different things from it, some like lower end stuff. I don't recognize this one. Bahamut Shark, I mean, this one was like meta. I don't know if it is anymore, but I remember playing that a little bit in my extra deck before. I thought this was like Shooting Star Quasar because the design of it kind of looks very similar to it, but that's like a new card. It's like $1 or something like that. More sealed packs, some Joey Wheeler action because the new Red Eyes Black Dragon got announced. So that one is like a $3 pack. This was a field marker. I don't see these ever because this was like the first time seeing it, but it was like a sealed little promo marker, and that was like around 40, I think was the mark. No, it was like a $30 like sealed. I think some of them were around 35. And then for the vintage people, mostly around Starter Deck, Kaiba, Blue Eyes, and then the Serpent Night Dragon first ed. This one's more like MP, so I basically took those in around 17. And then some of the other things, because we needed some promos from 151, the Mew and the Mewtwo from the premium collection for 151. These were near mints. This one is the Pokemon Center stamp. That one we used to sell for around 130, but we ended up taking that one in around, I think the last time we saw solds were closer to around 80. I'd have to do like a little bit double checking on it, but this was a deal. This right here ended up being around 24 was on cash offer. That usually on Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff is around 70% in cash just because they're not as liquid as opposed to Pokemon, because Pokemon I usually offer more for like higher end stuff. And then this was around, they did this on a trade for one of the last of the One Piece slabs, and it was the Sabo, Luffy, and Ace. That was like PSA 10. That was like around 140. I had to do some readjustments, and then this was around $27 cash on top for them. That was mostly about like the full run of like everything that happened in the last hour. It actually has been a little bit longer than that, mostly because I haven't had a chance to like go through sorting a lot of the other leftover stuff, because I've still got that stack to go through, and then all of the Gundam stuff for all of the meta cards, those are gonna have to be sorted a little bit later. So that's pretty much the main update right now. I don't know. It's going to be Dayton, because Dayton's usually really good, and I don't think we're going to have much shit shoots this weekend. But Nationals is happening today, and then there's like a few other shows, but this one always delivers. As per usual, I will hit the record button again whenever any new trade stuff come in, or like anybody from the channel. If you drop by, drop in the comments, and I'll try to see if I can tag you for any of the future videos. But anyways, I'll see you guys back in a sec. These 2 are officially going, and we had just got her in recently, so the Crobat, I don't know if that has like gone up at all, but we're maintaining the sticker price, and they were giving us 90. We just owed them 10 on top, and then some more Southern Islands and Shinies, and then of course Wally. That one we usually get a few out in time, so that's a good deal right there. I did a quick sell. They're adding 10 cash, well 9 cash on top, and they just owed 21. Mix of like a few full art trainers, and then these that we just got in during the last show. So thanks for the deal. The customer's completing their master set of all the Bulbasaurs, and they saw that one that they did not have, and it is the General Meal version, and it's going away for 28. All right, I forgot to record these, but they were from the same guy that I want to say was these. No, it was a Jolteon that I had for Delta Species. That's already in the case. These were the other two that they had. There were some other ones, but we ended up passing on them. Total was around 80, and we pretty much gave them around 64 cash on top. That ended up pretty good. I mean, the MP, the only reason why it's MP, there's like a little bit of hollow on there that has like some line scratches you can kind of see, aside from the clear. And then it's got like some scuff, which can be cleaned up. So, I mean, it will probably still come out as near mint, even after all of that is buffed out. And then the World Championship will promo by Reed. I forget the guy's last name, but it was like a signature on that. So these were still going for around 50 for near mints, but LPs hadn't really had any sales on them, so we ended up just taking both in. So that leaves some interesting stuff. It's not like a Blaine Charizard, but I will still take them in. All right, selling off the Pheasantipity. Customer earlier was interested in it, and they came back with some cash. We changed it down to 60 because it did actually drop down in price, but thanks for the deal. That Mewtwo did not last very long, and they brought in some promo stuff, and always got to refill up on the Entei movie promo, and then Shaman's always popular too. Conditions are a little bit lower than necessary, but these are always good fillers, and they are just adding 25 on top. All right, so the money is not here, and these jerks have bothered me for like the past few hours. Don't try to separate. I wanted to get you on camera. So the whole point of this was originally they wanted the Star Me. They were wanting to do push-ups, and I told them that they still owed me 110. They were like $10 off. So they agreed to trade these in, and it was like around 27 cash on top for the Hydreigon EX, and well, we basically did 25 on top, so I hope you two are happy. So the one that had the more fuzzy hair and he had the Goku t-shirt, that is an old employee I used to work with over at Regal Cinema before he left a few months before I did. But his name is Adam, and he was not expecting that recording. But yeah, the few of them were like old acquaintances of mine over at Regal, so that was kind of a funny little interaction. So the camera is not close, it's a little bit far away, but it's the jumbo one that was out of the surprise box that was back around Sword and Shield era, I believe. And it's going away to a customer for 20. This is probably going to be the only Gundam stuff that goes out today, and it's one of my old favorites that comes by the booth. And they're picking up the Misty's Tears, some EX Resource stuff, and then of course some alt arts. I was about to say full arts. I've got Pokemon on the mind, but it was originally 230, but we dropped it down to 210 for them. So this is kind of very unusual. That Joey Wheeler pack that we got from Buddha, that was like $3. Somebody had just bought it, so that's the first ever sealed Yu-Gi-Oh! Anything that we ever sold. That was kind of funny, but yeah, it was $3. So unfortunately, there was like one last sale. There was like a Supreme Victor's Venusaur Hollow and like just some Yukamoris. It was like about $15 cash on top. I owed the kid. He grabbed like a few things, but it's pack up time. Some of the other vendors had already left the show, mainly because it's about to storm outside here in a minute, and I gotta make my way back. I do not want to deal with the rain, so that's gonna be a quick intro, or outro, excuse me. But good show overall. I mean, some really good trades, and especially one of my regulars coming in for that 210 deal, so always a pleasure to see him. But that's pretty much it for day one, and I'll see you guys back for day two. Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday morning, day two time. This was story time. I have to like talk about this. So there was a gentleman that came by the booth yesterday. Pretty much came by back again, had a shoebox and then an old Pokemon binder. They brought a few things over to have me check over. I don't know like what variety to put this under, but I guess it would be a bit of like miscellaneous, but I'll kind of just go and show over like the main things that we grabbed from that binder. As I stated before, this is a very interesting mess, mostly because I don't really know how it was I got to look for more jumbos, and then some of this I'll explain in just a sec. The only 3 cards that I saw in his binder that he had, conditions ranged anywhere from like mild near mint to like LP, MP condition. Worst of them, the bunch is the Mega Artillery EX. That one I had around MP just because the corner had a little bit of scuff on it. Rayquaza XY promo, that one I had around in, not MP, LP. I had to like double check to make sure about that. But that one I still like the art for, but even at LP goes for around 25, so we still took that one in. And then the best one, obviously, is the Radiant Collection Mew EX. That one I would maybe make the argument about being near mint. It's still technically a very high LP, but I would still give that more or less the near mint pricing overall. Basically, he had like some jumbo cards. There was a Zard that he had in his binder, but the condition on it was not that great. And then there was like a Rayquaza. He took that back, so we ended up just taking in the Snorlax GX, and it's Snorlax stuff. People will probably still get it. Comps on them for LPs are around, I want to say like about $9, but still took that in regardless. And then of course, this was another thing. I wanted to get this from my binder, so now I have like 2. Might just consider just only keeping 1, but I don't know like which of the 2 are like better. And then the other stickers ended up doing well last time, so I took in a Snorlax as opposed to like a Squirrel. So these were roughly about like $9. I think these I had comped around 5 each on those, so I probably will just hold on to these for now. Maybe I'll get rid of one of the other ones later on. And then this is interesting enough because I don't really deal with figurines as much. I have like some of the other Legendary Bird stuff in the cases, but these I brought in because there was like a mix of different stuff, and I think this was a GameStop promo that they used to give out for when Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby. I think this was a pre-order item, so I pretty much just comped those at about 5 each on them, but they might, I don't know, they might end up selling. I just had to get them for filler for the booth. As stated, it's weird variety, but I mean, for like TCG stuff, the Mew EX will definitely get some trades in for it, but not like anything too major like stand outish. Aside from like the Umbreon Terrestrial Festival Master Ball that we ended up selling for 50. That was one of our regulars. I forget what the guy's name is, but shout out to that gentleman who knows who they are, who bought it from here. But that's really the main update. There hasn't really been like any main trades yet. We're still in the process of just kind of reorganizing everything, so we will probably do some reprice updates because I've got some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff I need to like double check for like the price on that. But as per usual, I'll hit the record button and give you guys the update next whenever there's like anything new that sells. But yep, I'll see you guys back in a bit. Sold off the Surfing Pikachu. This one had some slight adjustments. It had gone down to around 68 or 69, but we gave him the deal for 65. Stained Glass Birds is officially going. I had a lot of people looking at it earlier, and the gentleman is adding 19 on top, and we finally have another Misty's Determination secret rare. I forget like the exact rarity for it. Reverse Holo from Mega Evolution for Zard, and then the Reshiram GX. This is maybe about the second time I've had that in. So yeah, good trade overall.
I'm shaking so damn bad right now. Sorry. So tired. Bro, no pressure. I'm shaking like an absolute. Oh no! What?
Yeah.
What? That's all right.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 energies before you get to your final. Yeah.
There's the first. There's the second. There's the next one.
Good luck, brother. Blue.
Blue, Blastoise?
Blastoise.
Oh,
Fuck me.
oh,
Worst possible. Brutal.
so that was kind of like a first to be able to see that. It was really crowded over at their booth, but unfortunately they were a bit disappointed that it was not the right one they wanted. But hey, it's still fun to be able to see any of those packs open up nowadays. I won't get them on camera, but they do a bit of like competitive and collecting, and I believe that they're going to probably use these for their decks. I'm still trying to learn the meta, but they wanted these, and I give them 37 cash on top. And we're picking up more One Piece stuff, and we finally now have another slab in our hands, a PSA 10 for Luffy, which maybe the second time I've pulled this one, so now I have a PSA 10 to sell out for the booth. So yeah, that was good, and it's sad to see my SP that I pulled out go to Samoa, but they're gonna give it a good play. So it's kind of hard to see it, but that light reflecting where the lamp is, that little white dot, that was the Pikachu promo, the e-reader. I'm still trying to remember the UX one. We basically went back and forth on it, but he ended up taking it for $60. I guess a lot of people hadn't really been interested in it, but we just made some adjustments and gave the customer a good deal. So that, honestly, I think is going to probably be it for the day. I came out at the right moment. It is basically raining out. It did a little bit of a drizzle earlier, but I think it's starting to downpour. And I should have left about maybe an hour ago, but it is what it is. This whole entire weekend I had some good trades. The PSA 10 Luffy, I think, was like probably one of the bigger hits for the entire weekend overall. The Gundam stuff was definitely moving out quick. It was like a lot of like $40 plus ones out of the lot for like the cases. But there wasn't like any like major movers, but there was still a decent amount that came into the booth. And honestly, it's Dayton. It is what it is. But that's it. I had a lot of fun this weekend. Thank you to everybody who dropped by the booth, who said hi, did trades, and did like basically a different amount of deals with me. I've lost track of like all the good stuff that I got in through the booth. And of course, being able to see all old faces is always a pleasure to be able to come back in and just have fun with this. That is it, all the way from Dayton. Thank you for watching, and if you haven't done so, feel free to subscribe. I can't talk. It's still pretty much raining now, and yeah, I gotta make my way back to Lima. Well, love you guys. Have a good one, and as always, you know how I end these videos and all. Stay strong, stay positive, and most important of all, love ya. Have a good one.